sometimes you'll actually convince yourself that this isn't it because you're not excited about it anymore, and because it's getting boring or it's getting too uncomfortable because you are pushing yourself and you're just like, you know what, this can't be it. It's just too hard. Too many obstacles are coming up, so it almost looks like a closed door. Obstacles can sometimes look like closed doors. They're not. Sirese's Pieces. Welcome to Sirese's Pieces. So excited to be back with you guys again, as always. You know, guys, I just love talking to you guys. And right now, Sirese's Pieces is doing the series on keep that same energy, which I'm loving because honestly, when I do a series or when I do a Sirese's Pieces, trust me when I say it's something that I've been talking to myself about and motivating myself on and growing through. As we continue the series on Keep This Same Energy, we are here with the next part of it. I wanted to just talk about like just the semantics of keeping that same energy. You know, just because you're passionate about something does not mean that you are gonna be head over heels, overexcited about it every single day. To me, that's just crazy. I mean, marriage is a perfect example. People always talk about, that's where we got the honeymoon phase from. You know, everything in life has a honeymoon phase, from a new friendship, a new relationship, a new car, a new house, a new child, a new school, a new venture, a new goal, new eating habits, working out. It's very, very exciting in the beginning. But the reason why I call this thing Keep That Same Energy is because when it doesn't get exciting and when it gets bored, because sometimes it actually gets boring, because consistency is about doing the same thing the same way over time. Like that can honestly get boring, especially for certain personalities. Some people can get bored real quick. When those feelings come in, you can still keep the same energy. Keeping a high energy towards something does not mean that you have to walk around being excited about it and smiling. Okay, excitement, energy, two different things. Okay, and that's what I really wanted to talk about. Like, we introduced it last week where I was pretty much talking about consistency and keeping that same energy as the phrase that I want to use for it, because I realize, you know, in order for me to do the same thing the same way, I have to keep that same energy. And I wanted to encourage you guys in this part too about keeping that same energy, because it is easier said than done. Sometimes you'll get tired, sometimes you'll get bored, and you won't always be excited. But sometimes you'll actually convince yourself that this isn't it because you're not excited about it anymore, and because it's getting boring or it's getting too uncomfortable because you are pushing yourself and you're just like, you know what, this can't be it. It's just too hard. Too many obstacles are coming up, so it almost looks like a closed door. Obstacles can sometimes look like closed doors. They're not. You know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that you're able to differentiate a closed door and an obstacle. Some people see something that gets in the way and they're like, oh, I'm done. I guess it wasn't meant to be. And that is not the way to go. Imagine if we did that in marriage, like every time there was an obstacle, every day. Trust me, I get on Daniel's. No. Let me tell you when I say this man was made for me, because I be annoyed with myself. But we both know how to push those buttons. But imagine if every time one of our buttons were pushed, we were like, ooh, yeah, maybe we could try marriage again next year with each other. Like, no, that does not mean that this doesn't work. That doesn't mean that that's not the person for you. That doesn't mean that ain't the job. That ain't the goal. That ain't the thing. That means that you need to channel your energy. Anything that you aren't consistent in won't ever become what you want it to be, because you never saw it through. All right. Can I get an amen, my brothers and my sisters? All right. You've got to be consistent in order to see that end goal. It's not about the marriage and the reception and the honeymoon. It is about the thousands and thousands of days after that. The marriage and the reception, don't get me wrong, is popping and it's exciting. But let me tell you, you will get a very rude awakening very quickly if you don't know how to keep that same energy. In marriage, that energy is love, and just keeping that same vibe and keeping yourself passionate about it. Again, just because you're passionate about something does not mean that you're always going to feel excited about something. But when you love someone, you're not always going to feel love, because love is not necessarily an emotion. Emotion is just a side effect of love. Love is a choice. So I'm pretty much talking about choosing to keep an energy. I mean, we all give off different energies. You can title it other things like, oh, this person has a bad vibe. that person has a very nice aura. When she walks in the room, it brightens up. You know, that's energy. You know what I mean? That's the power that God has put inside of us. So I really want to talk about certain things that will help us to keep that same energy. Keeping that same energy means staying focused and keeping to the plan even when it gets discouraging and boring. And even when you're not excited, that means that you're still sticking to the plan. Trust me, I am in this new little plan that I don't really like to talk about out loud because I just want to see results. I don't want to just talk. I want to see, and I want people to see. And, you know, for me, let me tell you, I am not excited about this every day. I get sad about it. I get discouraged. I get over it, but I keep that same energy because I've learned that if I lose that energy to keep the plan, that I am not going to get to where I want to go. And that's why I don't talk about, because I'm not going to lie. I have not kept that same energy sometimes, and I want to make sure that I'm doing just that. And God is good. Thank God for his mercy and his grace. Because at the end of the day, he makes up for those times where we do drop the ball and we lose the energy and we lose it all. And it's so funny because I just read a verse today that was so good. And it was basically talking about God's promises are for you. I believe it was 2 Corinthians 7. And it was talking about God's promises and that they're for you, but you have to be able to choose a life of holiness. It says, let go of the things that make you unclean. And you will see his promises. You will walk into his promises. And it really spoke to me because it's a very general verse. But if you really dig in it, it reminded me about keeping that same energy. And in order for me to keep that energy, I have to let go of so many things that can burn my energy out or change my energy into negative energy, in which I am now preventing myself from walking in his promises. So keeping that same energy has to be an intentional thought at the forefront of your day every time you decide to pursue whatever it is that you're trying to do. Like I said in part 1, this isn't just for goals, but for friendships, relationships, careers, finances. Usually when people fall off, it's because someone started acting brand new. You ever heard that? Like, I don't know, they acted mad different. It's funny. The vibe is different. Maybe the bond isn't there. Pretty much someone changed up the energy, and that's not always bad all the time. Sometimes you do have to pull your energy back from certain people because they are literally sucking the energy, sucking the life out of you, and there is no reciprocation. And you have to be able to kind of rearrange where they are in your life. You don't necessarily always have to shut them out, but you have to make sure that they are not sucking the energy from you. But sometimes we're not giving enough energy to the right people or the right things. So, you know, when you start seeing like somebody's acting different, that's because their energy has shifted. Absolutely. They have not kept that same energy from when you first maybe were with them. The things that we have to be cognizant of when it comes to reserving your energy with relationships and people, you've got to know who is in there that fuels that fire in you, who promotes positive energy, who keeps the ground level for you, starting with God for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to make sure I'm receiving that energy at the top of everything. And then God has provided me with people around me that I can pull from and that pour into me. And it's not always this big old thing. Sometimes it's just their presence and the connection that I have with them that allows me to be filled with energy. And you have to figure out who are these people. And then you really have to figure out even the people that you love and adore, the ones that are not pouring that energy into you. A lot of times we may mistake in the fact that we are so good for someone that they're good for us, but that's not just the case all the time. We would love for it to be, but everyone that you're good for is not good for you. So you have to really begin to really evaluate. Sometimes you're not realizing why you're frustrated, why you're feeling things out of nowhere, why some of your days are down, or why you got off the phone with someone or just finished hanging out with someone or seeing someone or whatever the case is. You start feeling like I'm not fulfilled. I'm unfulfilled. I feel like my energy is zapped. I feel like I need to take a full nap. You know, whatever it is, you need to be honest with yourself about people in your life that are not helping you keep that same energy, because that energy that you carry in you will affect everything that you do in your life, your goals, everything else, whatever it is. So you have to make sure you are protecting your energy. And that is pretty much what I wanted to focus on with this second part of the series. With keeping that same energy, you have to protect it. In order to keep something, you have to protect it. So we talked about people, but you also have to protect your eye gate and your ear gate. That means TV shows, movies, music. Let me tell you something that I've learned recently. Music really shifts my energy. It's so funny when we see those funny videos of Christian playlists like mine that's mixed with 90s hip hop, DMX, and then Donnie McClurkin, and it's just going back and forth. Like, it's real. I mean, music is amazing, but you have to be able to be mature enough to understand when you shouldn't be in a certain headspace, or when you need to focus more. There's certain music that you don't need to be listening to, or there's certain songs that bring you back to certain places, certain feelings, certain thoughts and ideas that are not affecting your energy in a positive way. Okay, so we've got people, and then we have music and television shows, even television shows. Like, let me tell you something, I love my reality shows, Love and Hip Hop, Married to Medicine, Real Housewives, and the list goes on. Like, I legit love watching Black Ink. Like, I love all of that, but some days I will go weeks without watching, and then I'll binge. But I will just kind of separate my energy, especially if I'm just feeling off, because sometimes you're just gonna need more motivation than other days. Other days you're just like, man, I'm just killing the game, and then other days you're just like, I'm not. And those are the days that you should not be, wasting your energy on things that you don't realize are zapping your energy or just affecting your energy in a way that you're not in the headspace to manage. You know what I'm saying? So that takes maturity to really understand that. I never forget, somebody told me, they was like, I don't watch Grey's Anatomy because it brings out these sad and anxious and paranoid feelings, because, those type of shows, like, people be like falling out of buildings and coming in with limbs missing and all that stuff. You know what I mean? And it's Grey's Anatomy. It's a hospital show. So, they're going to get crazy. It's a TV show. But then you get into it and you be like, oh my God, what if that was me? Or what if that was my husband? And what if that was my child? And you get into it, you cry sometimes. I mean, that's the beauty of shows and movies and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, you do have to be careful. I know for me, like, I can't watch scary movies, certain scary movies, like stuff with like spirit stuff. Like, I cannot. It just affects me in such a way. Like, I just cannot. Like, there are certain things that I don't want to let in because I know that I can't handle it. If you can handle it, great. I can't handle it. And you have to be mature enough to be able to admit those things. Okay. And again, yeah, if you're in a certain season, like, you probably shouldn't be watching Grey's Anatomy. You know what I mean? But again, it takes you to understand where you're at. Sometimes you do need to detox from some of this music that's out here. Okay. I love my music, but sometimes you do need to like sometimes I'll realize, dang, like, I'm not listening to enough music that just puts my mind on God so that I can hear him. There's a lot of things that will come to take your energy that are pulling your attention so that you can't hear God. Because if your energy is into this and that and this and that, and like maybe your energy is this much into God, trust me, you're going to find yourself feeling disconnected. So just really being cognizant about your surroundings and making sure you're protecting your energy with people, music, TV, habits, anything that affects your energy. If God is calling you out about your inconsistent energy towards the thing that he has called you to do, then maybe it's time for you to do a surroundings check and make an adjustment that protects your energy better. If you're feeling like you just are really struggling, you really should check your energy. What are you letting into your system, and what are you giving off? So whether it's thoughts, people's, making a plan, daily activities. We're big dreamers, but it takes big energy to keep that big dream going. Because like I said, it's baby steps. You have to have that energy towards those baby steps. You might have a dream that's on 100, but guess what? You need energy to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way to 100. Okay? Because even by the time that you get to that dream, you will be a changed person because of every single step that you took. There's no way that you can hop from 1 to 100. And a lot of times when we see that in very rare situations, the person like either loses it all or embarrasses themselves or is on public humiliation because they just did not have what it took to be at that 100 big dream and lose it all. So many things are pulling our energy. So many things are pulling our attention in world today. So I just wanted to focus on, listen, yes, I'm telling you to keep that same energy, but you've got to be intentional about it. You've got to protect it, and you've got to be able to look at your surroundings, from the people in your life to the music that's playing in your car to the thoughts in your mind, because sometimes our energy is affected by our own selves. And I know I am a huge victim of that. Just certain things, like you just doubt yourself, or you're just negative about something, and that energy is just done, so protect your energy in order to keep the same energy. All right. Well, that's it for today's Sirese's Piece. Make sure you guys subscribe. We are almost there. I think, like I said, we're We were, in the beginning of this, we were like 40 subscribers away. Now we're 20 subscribers away from reaching our small goal of 100, our small but intentional goal of 100 subscribers. So make sure you subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We appreciate you so much. We love your support. Thank you guys for just being here. I hope you guys are getting so much out. We just want to come literally to make you laugh, love, and encourage you on some things. We are no experts here, but I just love hearing from people. So I love to share. It's what I'm passionate about. And that's why I do what I do. All right, guys. Well, have a wonderful day. And I will see you guys in just a little bit. Sirece's Pieces. Okay, I shouldn't do that because it's going to say it right now. Sirece's Pieces.